the Celtics and the Lakers. A rivalry unsurpassed in the annals of pro basketball.
Worthy play goes over to Rambis, and Rambis is decked, and he wants a charge. Oh, you don't dare touch him. You don't dare. He was really decked by McHale.
A series filled with timeless memories. From Frank Selby's miss to Don Nelson's miraculous bounce to Gerald Henderson's steal.
Magic. Back over to Worthy, and it's picked off. Goes to Henderson, he lays it off and in. It's all tied up. A great play by Henderson.
A legacy graced by clutch performers such as Bill Russell and Elgin Baylor, John Havlicek and Jerry West, and of course, Larry and Magic.
Back in the bird, the fall away is gone. Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Yeah! 2 seconds left. The Lakers take the lead.
Tonight, at the Great Western Forum, the tradition continues. Fox 25 Sports presents Boston Celtics basketball. Live from the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California, it's the Celtics against the Lakers. Good evening and welcome to Boston Celtics basketball here on the Fox 25 Sports Network. I am your host, Jimmy Myers. Tonight, the Celtics renew one of their longest-standing rivalries as they duel with the Lakers at the Great Western Forum. The names of Magic and Larry Bird no longer dominate the marquee, but the intensity of this matchup remains at a very high level. The Lakers won the first meeting of the season, 96-87 at the Boston Garden on Super Bowl Sunday, so the Celtics are looking to get even and gain their third straight victory of this 4-game Western trip. And when you consider the fact that these two teams, or better still, these two combatants, have split the last 12 regular season games at the Great Western Forum, you realize that the Celtics have a decent chance for victory in this one. Tommy Heinsohn and Bob Cousy filed this pregame report.
Thanks, Jimmy, and welcome to the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California, where tonight the Celtics, hoping to make it 3 in a row, take on their arch rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers. Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Heinsohn, and once again, I'll be working with my partner, Bob Cousy. And Coos, Celts lost Larry Bird. The Lakers have lost Magic Johnson. Both of them have similar problems. What do you expect from the Lakers tonight?
Yeah, the names are different, T, but the styles are very similar, as well as the statistics this year. Both of these clubs, you can hardly tell the difference between them. They're two, obviously, aging superpowers of the 80s, and as you said, both having lost their superstars, trying to stay competitive. It's a tough assignment. In the first game in Boston, L.A. won rather handily. Let's hope the Celtics can return the favor tonight.
Well, you look at the Celtics, Coos, and a big effort in Denver without Sherm Douglas, who's been really playing the major minutes. D. Brown came off, played rather well, and X stepped up to the challenge in the fourth quarter. Will they have the momentum coming into this game tonight? Yeah,
hopefully they will, T. It's always difficult with back-to-back situations, and especially on the road, obviously. I do think, however, they have somewhat of a psychological edge in that it's always nice on the road to get to the opponent's court and be 0-1. You don't necessarily want to lose the first game, but the point is it gives you an emotional lift. And secondly, I think it helps to have played poorly the night before and still won, you know, because you figure you stole one, and the chances of happening it back-to-back are slim, so maybe you're going to work hard, and I think they're going to have to work hard tonight.
Well, earlier this evening, you had an opportunity to speak with Chris Ford about tonight's game.
Coach, as they say in a frustrating game of golf, there's no pictures on the scorecard. Last night was not exactly a Rembrandt, but it was a win, right?
It was, and we played so horribly in that third period, particularly our shot selection. Some of the worst shots I've seen taken in a while. But in that fourth period, we knuckled down, played some tough defense, starting with D. Brown in the backcourt, got Pack under control, and then all of a sudden, about the 7-minute mark, Xavier got red hot, and he was just in one of those shooter's dreams.
Yeah, super. Tonight's team, obviously a little different ball club. One that handled us, not with ease, but beat us by 9 in January. What adjustments are going to be made?
Well, they're tough at home, as all teams usually are. We're going to have troubles with Worthy probably early. We probably start out with Gamble on him, and hopefully that we won't have to send too much up. But Worthy's been playing well of late. Divac has also stepped up his game, and now they have Benoit Benjamin backing him up in the center spot. So they still have some firepower, and it's going to take another tremendous effort defensively. We can run on this team if we rebound.
If I remember correctly, they trapped off our point guard pretty consistently in Boston onto Reggie Lewis. They wanted to get the ball out of Reggie's hands, and Gamble, our point guard, couldn't keep him honest, and I don't think they did hit well that game.
I'm sure they'll do more of the same tonight, either doubling Reggie or doubling our inside people and forcing our point guards to do something. Sherman has been able, over the last couple of weeks, to get that ball and drive it right back down the heart of the defense, and hopefully he'll be on top of his game tonight.
Let's keep it going. It'd be nice to go 4-0, right, Coach?
Sounds great.
Good luck.
Welcome to the Great Western Forum and the officials for tonight's ball game. Bill Spooner, Bennett Salvatore, and Tom Washington. And here are your starting lineup. Sherm Douglas will get the start at point guard. Reggie Lewis will be back there with him. Robert Parrish, Abdel Nabi, and Kevin Gamble up front. Sedale Threet and Byron Scott will be in the Lakers' backcourt. Vlade Divac will play center. And Green and Worthy will be the forwards. And you're looking at Chris Ford, as Kevin McHale will not be playing tonight because of a twisted ankle that occurred last night in Denver. And he did play effectively in that ball game.
Probably be seeing a lot more of Joe Klein tonight. Benjamin Benoit.
Benoit Benjamin, Coach.
Benoit Benjamin, a well-traveled center, has joined this team in the last couple of weeks, and he's been getting the nod instead of James Edwards, another veteran center. So when he's in there, I imagine Chris will be able to go with Joe.
Well, the Celtics control the tip on the second go-round, and it'll be Sedale Threet lining up with Sherm Douglas. Reggie on the box against Byron Scott. They throw a double, and Reggie and the alley-oop, no good. Here's Parrish with the rainbow, and the Celtics get on the board first.
Evidently, they are going to continue that strategy we talked about with Chris Ford on top of the L3.
And he powered his way and put it off the glass. It's tied at 2.
They're going to trap Reggie Lewis every time he gets his hands on the ball, normally with the point guard. So Sherm is going to have to either hit it or take it into the paint.
That time Reggie wide open on the wing on the trap of the low post. Pass goes astray. Celtics cannot hold on to it. It was in Gamble's fingers.
Reggie Lewis had his back to the ball there. They say you've got to watch your man first primarily, and then but you've also got to know where the ball is.
There'll be a illegal defense called on the Celtics. But I think the key matchup is who exploits whom in this ball game. James Worthy versus Kevin Gamble, or vice versa.
Worthy has been playing extremely well of late, I'm told. He got off to a slow start this year, but he's got it in high gear now. So Kevin's going to have his hands full.
So far, they've been trying to attack Sherm Douglas. Sedale Threet missed that one. And Sherm looks for the pop-out man, Reggie. Parrish cannot come up with the lay-down pass. Up it goes quickly. Here's Scott will take it. Falls away and knocks it down. It's tied at 4.
Scott averaging 15 a game. Is still effective, despite this being his 10th year in the league.
Kevin Gamble left alone on the swing of the ball. That's no good. Right there is A.C. Green. Quickly goes to Scott. His pull-up. It's a 2. And Scott looking over saying it was a 3. But they say it was on the line.
Well, he's got to look for more. Scott, a streak shooter. Got to find him early and try to keep him from getting started. Abdel Nabi works his way in.
Fight through the double team that time. He's been seeing mostly single coverage. Here's Worthy. That matchup produces a A 4-point lead now for the Lakers.
That is a very difficult matchup for the Seas. With all the moves the 10-year veteran has, if he gives up that position, he's going to be very vulnerable.
Reggie on the pop-out. 4 for him, and the Celtics trail by 2. AC Green can't put it down, does now. And the Celtics want a 20-second timeout to gather their defense as the up-quick game of the Lakers causing a problem.
They started. Here's that Worthy play the last time down. You notice Kevin just trying to stay in the play. He's got to front him because he's giving up too much height and experience there. AC Green, you see the Celtics standing around. 4 green shirts just watching AC doing his thing. That's why Chris Ford called the quick 20-second job. This is the way they started last night. Started slow, picked it up towards the end. Last night was Denver. Tonight it's the Lakers, and if they start slow, they can probably dig a hole for themselves.
You look at both ball clubs probably want to run, and AC Green is going to hang around those boards just like you saw in that last play. Abdel Nabi, who has been very effective on the boards, has got to stick with him and block him out.
AC Green, who at the moment is the Iron Man in the league, 547 consecutive games. Good move there.
They're doubling everything inside the foul line, Coos, so there's going to be a lot of people open, and the Celtics picking it up quickly.
And the outside game could be critical tonight for that reason.
Worthy with the finger roll. Beautiful move. And that's the matchup on the box that's going to cause problems as Worthy has the big size advantage. 4-point Laker lead. Celtics look in. There's the double. Kick it back out to Reggie. Steps into his prime spot. Knocks it down. He's got 6 now, and the Celtics trail by 2.
Reggie's offense is flowing. Good-looking stroke he's got going tonight. That's a plus.
Last night he was 8 for 22, but started getting it going. Here's the Worthy move.
See, he's kind of toying with Kevin Gamble, frankly. I don't think Chris Ford's going to be able to stay with that matchup. Yeah, Reggie had 24 last night, but a little bit of a struggle. It still wasn't happening. Tonight he's gotten off to a good start.
Sherm Douglas gets it inside to Gamble. Yeah, just backing way off of Sherm Douglas. Reggie, it'll be a 3 if it goes. No good. Divac right there knocks Parrish off the miss. Here comes 3. Pull up. Yes. Lakers 14, Celtics 10.
Defense not dominating this game early. There's Gamble. Neither team, huh?
Good look by Sherm Douglas down the sideline. Gets Kevin Gamble going strong to the hoop.
Neither team paying a lot of attention to defense at the moment.
Divac. There was AC Green. Worked inside Abdel Nabi. Almost had that rebound for a putback. Goes to Abdel Nabi. Slides by Byron Scott. It's tied at 14. Worthy picked up by Reggie. They are running both ball clubs, if possible.
Pretty good offensive distribution for the Lakers. No real big guns. Worthy and Treat lead the team with only a 16-point average. They've got 6 guys in doubles.
Foul will be on Vlade Divac. That's his first and the team's first.
And the first foul call tonight after 5 minutes of b-ball.
They go to Gamble. His runner off the glass is good, and the Celtics are tied again. This looks like last night's ball game, Cruz.
Yeah, absolutely. It's run and gun. When you don't get many fouls being called, it's a good indication that there's not a heck of a lot of defense being played.
3 will kick to Divac. He's challenged, and undoubtedly Abdel Nabi will pick up the foul. It's timeout on the floor as it's evened off at 16, but both teams running. And there you see both ball clubs shooting exactly the same.
Another indication, T, of the lack of defense at the moment. Rebounds on paper. We told you on top, statistically, these teams are very, very similar. Rebounding-wise, the Celtics have a slight edge, not a big one. I'm not sure that the lack of defense at this point doesn't somewhat play in the Celtics' hands or in their favor, in the sense that if the home team is down and they don't come up fired up, sometimes the tendency is to stay that way throughout the game. As the away team, you have more of an incentive to get with it and start getting after people. Hopefully the Celtics are going to do that.
6:37 to go in the first. Lakers lead by 1. Reggie working on Scott, and he'll go to the line for 2 as Scott will pick up the foul.
Scott, not a good defensive player. Probably has been hurt as much as anyone with Magic's departure. He really was the recipient of a lot, not only Magic's passing that set him up so often, but he is such an excellent shooter, and he comes off that weak side pick so effectively that having Magic feed him at the right time in the right place, really, there's Magic, really looking enthused about this whole thing.
Met his dad and met his father-in-law earlier in the evening, both distinguished gentlemen. Reggie hits 2, gives the Celtics a 1-point lead, but Worthy puts the Lakers ahead. He's got 8 points now.
Well, it's one thing to get beat by Worthy inside, but outside coming off those picks, Gamble's got to get closer to him than that.
Facing up is Abdelnaby. That's short. Worthy right there. 3. Finds A.C. Green. And A.C. Green is one of those blue-collar players, boy. Excellent hustle. And pressure defense turns it over for the Lakers.
Not a lot of pressure. Extended 2-2-1. Zone trapping, but they really didn't get intensive with it.
Here's Worthy, the turnaround. He's on fire. Lakers up 5.
That matchup has got to be changed, like immediately.
Like Xavier McDaniel might be the guy that Worthy's going to have troubles with.
Almost anyone. Edward Surt, Wayne LeBeau, get someone in there.
Parrish steps through, lays it in. 3.
Nice job. Lakers started trapping down pretty consistently. They've stopped doing it the last few minutes, and both Abdelnaby and Parrish have taken advantage of that.
A technical foul called on Boston for another illegal defense. They gave him a warning before.
I think it was Abdelnaby both times, Tommy. He seems to be giving him a little conversation. We're up so high, it's hard to tell one team from the other, never mind who's who, right?
One's got the
Or
green.
is it my eyes?
One's got the green uniform.
Green.
Green.
Who's in green?
Green.
Is that the good guys or the bad guys?
The good guys
Good
have the
guys
green.
in green. Okay. And with the program.
4:57 in the first. Pass goes off the head of Robert Parrish. It'll stay Laker ball. And one of the problems up here, Coos, you can't see the shot clock.
Also nosebleed.
Yep. So that's going to be difficult. I think there's 16 on it. A.C. Green winds up. Campbell, good blackout this time on Worthy. Reggie looking inside. They go to Abdelnaby. Parrish right there. Found the ball. Put it back in.
Celtics starting to assert themselves a bit more to that offensive board. They should be able to do some damage. Divac, not an aggressive rebounder. Guess who, folks?
Catch and shoot. James Worthy, 6 for 6. Got 12 points. So that matchup is way ahead, 8 points ahead. Gamble and Worthy. Gamble trying to do something against Worthy, and Worthy just takes his quickness away by backing down. There's Worthy. Gamble with the fall away.
Fidelity had the enviable job of filling in for Magic. He Done a pretty good job.
Finger roll again. This time, a little bump by Gamble creates the miss. Gamble picked up by 3. His jumper long.
Let's play that one again, just so we're sure Worthy missed a shot.
He's going to wear himself out before the quarter's over, Coos. They keep calling his number. Here's 3.
Not as long as he gets 2, right?
Parrish tips to Reggie. Reggie knocks it down, and he had daylight. Instead opted for the pull-up jumper. Here's 3. Rushing it back up. Answers. Lakers get the lead back. It's 28-26. 6 points for 3.
Oh, Reg is turning Scott every way but loose there on those moves. There he goes again. Yes, sir. Well, whatever we said about the Worthy-Gamble matchup, Celts are repeating with the Lewis-Scott matchup. See? Again with the easy penetration.
Well, that time on the hard rush, watch this as Sherm Douglas as Parrish putting it back in. As timeout on the floor. Celts down 2. .238 to go here in the first quarter at the Forum, and the Celts in a running good game are trailing by 2. And looks like Xavier McDaniel-Coos is going to come in after that timeout, and so will Joe Klein. But Xavier's going to come in as the power forward and not the quick forward, as Gamble remains in the ball game. And Eldon Campbell is in at center for Divac. Check it, James Worthy. So he's going to be at the power quick forward spot, or the power forward spot, I don't know. But there's AC Green still in there, so there's plenty of size up front for the Lakers right now, and not much size for the Celts.
Might be an opportunity to do a little running out there if Joe Klein can give him some defensive board control. Lakers with another strong forward here. Their best forward, Sherm, gets it from out for his first 2.
Sat behind that pick and just buried it. 31-30, L.A.
Lakers' best quarters this year have been the first and the last. Not unusual for all the teams to play better in the first quarter. Obviously, doesn't necessarily hold for the last quarter, but Celtics have got to wait for the second and the third, I guess.
Breed gives back to Divac. Yes, Klein on him. Divac steps away. That's short, Reggie. And here comes Sherm Douglas. Gives to McDaniel. Right away. And that back rims it. And here comes 3. Hard push. Pulls up. Yes. And Breed has been on fire.
11 points for Mr. Treat.
So it's Worthy and Sedale Threet leading the way. Lakers up 3.
Proof that 10 years ago there were still sleepers in the league, T. Sedale Threet was a 6th-round draft choice, the 139th pick. You couldn't do that these days.
A weak side rebound and put back by Xavier McDaniel. X was unbelievable last night. That was a Larry Bird clutch type of performance. Here comes 3. And now he's got more points than James Worthy.
Well, again, an adjustment has to be made. I think G. Brown has to get in there.
And Vlade Divac brings them to their feet.
How is that move? A little behind the back. Here's the steal off the Douglas pass to Klein. Okay. It was exciting.
There's X.
The crowd is still buzzing over that one, T.
Sure was. 4 points for McDaniel now. 33 and change left in the quarter. 3-point Laker lead. Divac. And Bennett Salvatore will call the foul on Joe Klein. Watch this by Vlade.
Not bad for a 7-foot center. Steals the ball from the guard, puts it behind his back, leaves his opposing center grasping for air, literally, as he goes to the ball, left Joe standing at the foul line. Pretty good versatility there.
Joe is trying to keep him off the box, and they're going to work it down, try and get the last shot of the quarter. Vlade up to set the pick for 3. They cover that over. Here's Scott. Takes a bad one, and they get no shot off. There's .3 left in the quarter.
That's enough time to do a little damage, right?
Yeah. Supposedly, that's enough time to score as you see D. Brown about to come in. So the Celtics defensively that time covered up the pick and roll play beautifully, took Divac out of the play, and also forced Scott into a very, very difficult shot. X launches. That ought to be time and then some. It's wide of the mark, but in a run and gun first quarter, it's the Lakers leading by 3, 37-34. We'll be back. There you see the field goal percentages. Both teams shooting out of sight. Celtics leading the rebound department, but it's meaningless as the Lakers have a 3-point lead. Rick Fox has come in for the Celtics, and Anthony Peeler is in for the Lakers.
Peeler's their first round pick this year, the 15th pick in the country. He's a good one, a shooter.
Fox picks up Worthy in that matchup. They're going to until it's falling apart. Worthy now has 14 points, and it's a 5-point Laker lead.
This Ford going with a small unit, inserting Brown, Fox, McDaniel trying to put a little defensive punch into that lineup.
Rick Fox, with no place to pass, takes the shot.
Bad option. You can always start it over, even though the clock's running down, unless it's desperation time, rather than take the low percentage shot.
Eldon Campbell working on Joe Klein, and that short, Joe might have got a piece of that. D. Brown going to run the show at point guard. Gamble in the backcourt with him, I believe. Fox will play the quick forward, and Peeler will take him. Fox gets fouled. And foolish foul by Peeler. But they say that Fox was not in the act of shooting, so the Celtics will take it out on the side.
Peeler had an excellent offensive game in Boston in January. The Celtics gambled off of him and trapped down, and he burned him from outside. D. Brown.
And doubling off the point guard, but D. Brown, a much better outside shooter, of course, than Sherm Douglas, gets the Celtics within 3. Sedale Threed, who plays big minutes for the Lakers at point guard, goes to Worthy. Alley, a little runner, no good, almost went over the top and out of bounds. Here's Campbell. And A.C. Green had the Gamble matchup, and they're just playing all kinds of size against Kevin Gamble right now. Kick out pass to McDaniel is short. Gamble takes it away. Good rebound there by Gamble.
Someone's free somewhere. Worthy's back into the play. That's why you've got to get it off the floor in a half court. You can't pick people out if the ball's being dribbled. Excellent entry pass by D. Brown.
Got the defense going one way and created the opening and just zipped it to Joe Klein.
That's a good look. Good sense and vision of the floor there.
Peeler pops out, knocks it down. 43-38. Lakers.
Peeler's averaging 11 a game. Double figures for a rookie, not bad.
Fox had the shot. Here's Klein going to set the pick for D. Brown. X draws the double, steps away. Tough shot. It's a 4-on-2 shaping up for the Lakers. They give it to Peeler. He gets it away. Yes, sir. Peeler gets his second hoop. And it's 45-38. And Chris Ford says, I got to stop this now. We'll be back.
Then there was a time I dissed Kevin Johnson. Child, I practically knocked him into the past tense. Thing is, I had Converse shoes with React Juice. I move this way, Juice reacts that way. Makes you cut quicker and stop faster. They say Kevin is one of the quickest men in the NBA. I hope he heals quick, too.
Grandmama, one-on-one, me and you.
Uh-oh. Looks like I'm going to need a rain check on my bikini wax, Louise.
Celtic fans relive the excitement of the Larry Bird era through the official Larry Bird commemorative magazine. Get your copy for just $7.95 plus shipping and handling by calling 1-800-488-BIRD. Visa, MasterCard, and American Express accepted. Here's D. Brown with that cute pass.
Yeah, right off the dribble. Big thing there. His head was up all the way, watching the play develop. There it is. Knew what he was going to do with it. As soon as he shifted the defense a little bit to the outside, just rifle that pass in there. Extended pressure by the Lakers. They're trying to trap.
Doug Christie, who they just acquired last week, in for the Lakers.
Christie and Benjamin came over from Seattle for Sam Perkins, the 6'9" power forward that started off in Dallas, came over here, played some good ball, and Seattle feels they need one more card maybe to become competitive. McDaniel.
With a three, Kuz. A big three he got last night.
Oh, did he?
He's got 7 points, and the Celtics are within 4. Coming up to 8 minutes in the half.
Celtics need to make the defensive commitment. Fox steals it. Look up. Look up. Nice play by D. Brown. Rick Fox almost held on to it too long.
So it's 45-43. Lakers. Christie now, their point guard, has come in for Sedale 3. And D. Brown giving him all he can handle. Pass to Worthy, who came back in. Joe Klein carves out space.
Yes.
And that will be overruled by Bennett Salvatore. Here's the play by Fox.
See, Christie, the rookie there, his inexperience showed. Once he lost the ball, he should have just grabbed on to Fox immediately and wasted the foul. It would have saved the 2 points.
Inbound produces a jump shot that is no good. Peeler gets picked off by D. Brown, and Christie wraps up D. Brown, so D will get 2 shots.
I'll tell you, the C's making the defensive commitment finally, or more specifically, D. Brown and Rick Fox going out there challenging the ball and making things happen. There's 2 turnovers in a row now that could result in 4 points and a tie ball game if Brown makes these 2.
So D. Brown, who was under the weather, did not play in one of the ball games in Golden State, as Vlade Divac comes back in, replacing A.C. Green. But I'm not quite sure D. Brown is 100% physically either, Kuz.
I asked Chris Ford before the game how the 2 point guards were. He said fine. So he added that Kevin was hurting.
Celtics on a 6-0 run right now. They're within 1. Christie goes inside to Divac. Alley-oop to Christie. D. Brown knocks it away from underneath. Christie gets it back. It's blocked by Fox, but the foul will go to Rick.
Christie working hard. He's a swing man, 6'5", 6'6". shooting guard who can go out and play some small forward. Here he makes himself felt on the offensive board. Rick Fox finally strips him.
Picks up the foul in the process. Christie was a late signer, did not want to play up in Seattle, I guess. He's a Pepperdine graduate.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick, the 17th in the country that Seattle was never able to sign. They finally traded him to L.A.
Christie makes 2, and the Lakers now lead by 3. 7 minutes left in the half. D. Brown goes to Reggie Lewis, who came in for Kevin Gamble. X finds Klein. Hard left hook. I don't know how he softened that one up, but the Celtics trail by 1 right now and playing hard defensively. D. Brown.
Yeah, this unit has come in with a little life. We said D. Brown, Rick Fox, Reggie Lewis, McDaniel have all dug in here. Started to make things happen, started to pressure the ball, deny outlets. You can do that for 5 or 6 minutes. You're going to create opportunities for yourself.
Christie. They blow the play off, and they'll call the foul on D. Brown before he got into the paint. So Celtics pick up their second team foul. And the Lakers will put it in on the side. Vlade just put his shoulder into Joe Klein. 5 points for Vlade now. 3-point Laker lead. Fila trying to stay with Reggie Lewis. Reggie draws the double and can't get it over the top. So the Lakers with their second unit getting aggressive defensively. They're up 5 as Christie now has 4 points. Reggie off the pick. Rolls out. Reggie was hot early in this ball game, 5 for 7. Had a good scoring night last night, but was 8 for 22. Not what you call one of his better shooting nights. They'll call steps on Divac.
Tried to cross him up that time and take him into the paint around Klein the last time down. This time he gives a little fake to the outside. Watch. He fakes into the paint. Now he drops the step and rolls back quickly. He did get Joe leaning in that direction, but evidently moved his pivot foot while he was in the process.
The Serbian shuffle that was, as Robert Parrish enters the ball game for Joe Klein. Reggie steps into the double and gets it over the top. 51-48. Lakers 14 now for Reggie. Worthy now has Xavier McDaniel on him. X challenges it, and Gamble, who's come back in, rips it off. Here's Reggie. Gamble. X. And let it roll around. You're right, Cruz. I'm having trouble seeing some of these guys from up here. Isn't it amazing?
The second thing that goes, Big.
Alley-oop to Campbell from Divac. And the guy that's defending him right now, I believe, is Kevin Gamble, and that is a real size mismatch.
Yeah, Campbell's 6'11", so Gamble is giving away a little too much, but he can perhaps hurt him down the other end.
Over the top pass, and Gamble comes away with that. D. Brown motors, falls out, tipped to Parrish. That doesn't go. Gamble there has it taken away by Christie. And there'll be a foul on D. Brown as the Celtics miss 2 golden opportunities.
You don't get much closer than that. Good foul by D. Brown. He had one to waste. That's the play we were talking about earlier that Christie missed. D. Brown alertly has the alley-oop to the 6'11". Eldon Campbell.
That was the second foul on D. Brown and the third on Boston. Lakers have 2 team fouls with just under 4 minutes left in the half.
Not many fouls being called tonight, or shot for that matter. And as we told you, the reason for that is neither team is really committing themselves defensively. The Celtics have picked it up the last 3 or 4 minutes and momentarily got themselves back in the action. Now the Lakers have it back up to 5 again.
Parrish picks up his first, and Divac will get 2. Divac, a lot of people feel he has great promise. He's certainly got different kind of skills for a big man. Outside shooting ability, and you saw his ball handling ability a moment ago with that behind the back move on Joe Clyde. But his stick-to-itiveness and his ruggedness.
Very inconsistent.
Right.
As a matter of fact, there's been all sorts of rumors all year long that the Lakers have been trying very actively to move him. But with the scarcity of centers in the league, it's going to give one away. Another layup missed.
Scott. Yes. They're pouncing on anything right now and running it up the court as they get it and go. Chris Ford, not a happy man, calls tie. And here come the Laker girl.
Are we sure?
So the Lakers have a explosion of up-tempo points. They lead by 9 right now, and Chris Ford trying to find an answer. The outside game has not been working, and the double teaming of the inside game of the Celtics has been not that productive. Here's Reggie working on Divac. Steps through, is forced to kick it out. Here's D. Brown. Parrish there, and D. Brown goes down. And Parrish puts it up and in. Scott buries it on the up quick as the Celtics are getting back, but not getting out to pick up the wing people. 59-50, 9 for Scott.
The Lakers do that very well, Peter. They did in Boston also. They look down for, they're not reluctant to throw it down to those front people at all. And when you've got perimeter shooters like Scott, and now there's Kid Christie and Peeler and Threet, all heading down floor quickly, very tough for the defense to get back in position in time.
Doug Christie picked up 1 foul and now just picked up another, and that one will put the Lakers at the limit. 3 fouls on Doug Christie. And guess who? James Worthy, who comes back into this ball game with 14 points. And he was running away with it on the box in a good matchup for him against Kevin Gamble. Here's Parrish. Steps by, gets stripped by Threet.
Yeah, good hands. They both went after the outside person off the high pick. Watch this. That releases Parrish. Lewis drops it down to him, but Threet with the good hands.
Parrish on the box now in a mismatch. McDaniel flies to the left hand, gets it back, and as he puts it up, will pick up the foul on Divac.
Good job by McDaniel battling in that offensive board. Next man. One of the few Celtics showing a little life tonight. Here it is. Good, strong power move to the basket. Doesn't quite have that thrust anymore in terms of taking him up strong to the hoop, but still is able to finish it off. It's a quick move back to the basket. Creates a foul opportunity for him.
They don't like X in Los Angeles. And here comes Benoit Benjamin. They made the deal with Christie, sent Perkins to Seattle to get Benoit Benjamin and Doug Christie. And
Benoit perhaps as well-traveled a center as the late Ralph Sampson, right?
I wonder what Jack has to say about Benign Ben.
Always been the reason why he's released. He shows. Oh,
Scott knocks it away from McDaniel. Scott, and I'll tell you, they are just pouncing on any kind of turnover and going.
Celtics not getting back at all. Now, Benjamin has shown flashes of potential greatness from time to time, but generally he's a pussycat for a guy his size, and so He's moved around a lot.
Parrish with the weak side putback. Celts within 9, a minute 44 to go in the half.
Generally, teams very reluctant to let go of center types. There's 27 teams. I'm not sure that there's 6 legitimate centers in the league. So when you get a 7-footer like Benjamin who's got some offensive moves, well, you like to hold on to him, wait for him to develop. Just hasn't happened.
Misses the first, gets the second as the Chief gambled on the pass, hoping to pick it off. 63-52, Lakers.
There's no easy way to explain it other than to say the Celtics, other than a brief few minutes there, have had no defensive commitment whatsoever all night long.
McDaniel once again loses it as worked hard. Look, a 4-on-1. And they're just running the Celts into the ground here in the latter stages of this quarter. We're under a minute.
It is back-to-back, T.
Yep.
However, there wasn't much defensive commitment last night either, so they got away with it last night. Not going to happen tonight, however.
So Sedale 3 to help the Lakers get off to a good start. The pass picked off and Gamble with it, so the Celtics will get a shot here. Gamble steams, gets knocked off the shot. No. And A.C. Green, and they'll call for the last shot of the half.
Either Green or Scott, if they put him on the point, probably can just isolate and take whoever's guarding him one-on-one, create a pretty good opportunity for themselves.
Byron Scott steps to the jumper, and Reggie fouls him with .9.
Not exactly a smart foul there.
It's the first foul on Reggie. Nonetheless, he was in the act of shooting. Scott is really more than anything else, Kuz, a one dribble or a spot-up player first. Get him the ball where he's standing still and he goes into his motion. One dribble, he's sort of mastered, but he's not a put-it-on-the-floor type of guy and go all the way.
We said earlier he's more effective coming off those weak side picks, you know, and spotting up and catching, spotting up, and letting it go. He won't beat you off the dribble that often.
Believe it or not, Kuz, he's in his 10th year. Worthy's in his 11th. So they've got problems, much like the Celtics, aging veterans that were successful.
How about James Edwards, 15 years? He's got to be second to the Chief.
Gamble scores on a down and out. What a play! As Gamble just made sure that his defender could not get at the ball. But nonetheless, there's the Gamble walking off the floor. The Celts trail at halftime, big time, 67-54.
Reggie Lewis of the Celtics is taking the early but slight advantage in the Miller Genuine Draft 2 matchup. But look at the numbers show his readiness with 14 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, while Byron Scott, coming on late for the Lakers in the second quarter, has put 13 points, 1 assist, and no rebounds on the ledger. Special note to Celtics fans, the team wants to remind you that Sunday, April 4th, is Pizzeria Uno Day at the Boston Garden. The Green will be hosting Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, and all fans attending the game will be receiving a Fleer Boston Celtics team card sheet courtesy of Pizzeria Uno and the Boston Celtics. Be sure not to miss out on this valuable collector's item. Once again, your score after 24 minutes of play, the Lakers leading the Celtics by 13, 67-54. That will do it for Celtics halftime. I am Jimmy Myers. Tommy Heinsohn and Bob Cousy will call the second half after this pause for the famous commercial call.
Password. Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk.
ID? You're early.
But I'm ready.
Then prove it.
That's not enough. Oh, this must be a rookie thing or something.
Tommy Heinsohn, Bob Cousy back here at the Great Western Forum, and the Lakers, by virtue of a 16-8
run in the last 5.5 minutes are leading by 13 at halftime. And here are your Charlotte Bank halftime stats. Celtics shoot 51%, but look at the Lakers by virtue of a lot of layups. Lakers take more foul shots. Celtics out-rebounded by 2, although they had 9 offensive rebounds. Turned the ball over an equal number of times, but look at the way the Lakers pounced on those turnovers. Leading scorers, Reggie had 14, Robert Parrish 10, McDaniel 9, Gamble 8. Nobody really with a hot hand. Reggie is 6 for 8 in this one, but Worthy is ruling the roost on his matchup with Kevin Gamble. 16 for him. Scott at 13, 3-13, and he helped get the Lakers off to the good first quarter start. Divac has 7. And here is the last shot of the half, Coos.
A foul shot? Oh, no. Gamble. Excuse me. Gamble. McDaniel's long past there. Gamble. Scott falls asleep. One of the, well, I was going to say one of the few times the Lakers did. That's not quite so. They didn't play sterling defense either. But the Celtics, that's the operational word. Defense, defense, defense. Very little effort expended in the first half defensively on the part of the Celtics. Lakers shooting it at 47% from the field during the season. That half they were at 66%. They were allowed to do whatever they please. Let's see if that changes.
They go to Scott in the corner to tries to get it over the top of the Chief. Allah right there pulls it away from A.C. Green, who's been doing great rebounding work. Sherm Douglas will start at the point guard spot. His pull-up, that goes. That knocks 2 off the 13-point lead of the Lakers.
Sherm can have that one pretty much whenever he wants it. And if he maneuvers the pick low enough, comes across that foul line, you're talking about a little bit more than a foul shot, literally. So.
Reggie ends up on the switch on Worthy. They go to 3. Sherm loses control, but 3 can't put it down. Here comes Douglas with a hard push. Now hits Gamble. That'll be a 3. If it goes, it's short. And A.C. Green pulls it away. 3 going to use the Worthy pick. And there'll be a hooking foul called on Sedale 3. So we'll see if Sherm Douglas has some rubber still in his legs. He has been masterminding a lot of these Celtic wins of late. Ala Abdelnaby, and they've been doubling anything that's gone down on the box. So the Celtics not able to use the inside game. Now they do, and Scott just wraps Robert Parrish up.
Good move by Robert there. Couldn't complete it, lost his balance, and was going down. Watch. Quick turn into the middle. Catches Scott by surprise. Scott comes across and fouls him, and Robert will go to the line for 2. Not many free throws shot in the first half by either team. 6 by the C's, 10 by the Lakers.
Well, the Chief misses the first. They are 3 for 7. And now 3 for 8. So that's uncharacteristic of the Celtics.
Not a good sign to blow a couple from the line early in the half when you're trying to get back into the game.
Sherm Douglas ends up on the mismatch with Worthy to kick back out the 3. That's no good as the Celtics rotated beautifully to bother the 3 shot. Quickly goes to Gamble. Douglas hits Abdelnaby. That's knocked out and saved by 3. That should have been a power play by Abdelnaby. Here comes 3, tosses it up, and will draw the foul on Allah.
Yeah, they're just not making that extra effort. That's a good example of that, T. You're absolutely right. You know, good internal passing here. Nice setup by Douglas. But he shoots it rather than just taking that extra step and slam dunking it. This team is an effective shot blocking team. They average about 5.3 a game, I believe. Exactly, and one of the better shot blocking teams in the league. So if you have a choice, you know, slam it through there. As you pointed out in the first half, Divac not a power center in the sense of muscling you to death, and so you can get it up there against him and finish it off strong rather than shooting.
Celts see the pressure defense, beat the initial part of it, then pull up. Now Reggie going to work one-on-one. They swing to Douglas. He's left alone. Buries his third outside shot of the ball game at 69-58. Lakers. It's 3. And Worthy forced off the box nicely by Gamble. Now they throw a double on him. It goes over the top with a skip pass to Scott. And Reggie was all over him, but much too all over him. Smile by Reggie saying that was a foul.
Scott really having difficulty. He used to glide in there. Of course, as Tommy told you, this is his 10th season in the league, but nevertheless, looks like he's lost a step, but still
I don't ever think he was really that kind of player, Coos, you know, that could really get it and go and overpower people in the paint. He was.
Oh no, he wasn't an overpower, but I'm saying he, you know, he took those long loping steps. Yep. He doesn't get it into the paint that often because, again, with Magic in there, you know, there was never any need to.
Right.
All he had to do was stand there and pop. But,
and he sure could do that. But it always seemed if you put a man on him on the perimeter, you could take him right out of the offense and assign him to stay in his jersey. But Scott can score, and the Lakers now are up 13 again. That was the halftime lead. Here's Reggie working against Scott. They give to Abdelnaby. His runner no good. Right there is Divac. Long bounce pass to Scott, but it's spot up. That's his shot.
Sure is. Catch him on the perimeter. Quick look down floor, as we were talking about in the first half. Lakers still doing well. Not as well as when Magic was around, but still pretty effectively.
Allah has a chance at the tip, but Divac outmuscles the Chief. Here comes Scott again. His pull-up. Yes! 20 points now for Byron Scott. And Chris Ford needs a mercy timeout. Is that man evil? Remember him as the devil in Witches of Eastwick? I think he's put a whammy on the Celtics. He's a great basketball fan, though, Coos.
Got to get him to grow a few horns, eh? Telling me today, he's we talked about him playing golf with him last year, and he was just learning the game. They tell me he's shooting in the 80s now, so he's really become addicted to that wonderful game. That
if he's down in the 80s after a year, he's probably called on those witches to help him. Sherm Douglas with the runner. He's got 8 points now, and the Celtics crawl within 16. This Laker team, Coos, is really playing some excellent basketball defensively.
And they're running the floor well. Sure. You know, they did the same thing in Boston, Pete. They looked much faster. And the Celtics just not reacting to the plays, but the Lakers executing them.
Little fake pick and roll, and Divac released, and nobody gave any help. The Chief got nailed on that one. Over it goes to Sherm. That's no good. Divac pushes Parrish off the miss.
Lakers still love to run and get that ball up floor, create those short perimeter shots. Even A.C. Green's going out to do it.
As your power forward out on the wing hitting jumpers, that's good stuff. This ball club is without Magic, and the fans have not really responded in Los Angeles. As we see uncharacteristically in a Lakers-Celtic game, an awful lot of yellow seats here without people in them.
About a third of the house empty. And I guess that's been happening most of the year. Of course, you take a spectacular crowd-pleasing superstar like Magic out of the lineup, and a lot of the luster goes with it, obviously. They won 58 games other than the crowd. Here's the fake. Divac fake setting the pick for a treat. then releases. You've seen Robert Parrish do that to opposing centers for many years. He and Larry Bird used to run that play so effectively.
Here's Divac with the 3 personals, who just picked it up on the rebound. Gives way now to Eldon Campbell. So quickness. Here's Sherm Douglas. Works in the paint, has it knocked away by 3, and everybody pinned on the perimeter on Sherm's penetration. Nobody to pass to. Well, they elected to say, Sherm, you got to beat us with scoring coups, because they're not giving him anybody to pass the ball to. They're not helping out on his penetration.
You have to explain to me why our point guards just hold the ball and dribble around, without getting them into a play or movement or whatever.
Well, they've
been doing it all year long. And
I think they're looking for the penetration coups and for those guys to react and find an open man. And the Lakers really afforded any possibility of that strategy. The other plays, it's like they have a 1-4 offense. And they're down on the paint, on the box, on the baseline.
Well,
nobody to pass the ball to until they pop free.
I mean, whether you're calling a play or going into movement, the point guard's got to bring the ball over, and as he comes over half court, just swing to the other side. Just create some movement out there with the ball. Even if the player is setting up opposite from where you are, the ball's going to come back, and that gives the guys underneath a chance to develop whatever it is they're doing. But you've got to have ball movement. You can't have the point guard stand on dribbling. We've talked to Chris Ford about it. He agrees. Too often it's not done on the floor.
The foul is on Abdelnaby. And here's the tip-in by Reggie, who's still battling. But it's timeout on the floor, and the Lakers are feeling good about themselves. They're up 16 with 5:48 to go in the third.
Did you see the game, bro?
We see everything. Get in here.
Please sit down. Now listen closely, Shaquille. We're only going to say this once.
If you can fill the unforgiving man
With 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and all that's in it.
Which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Monday night at 8 p.m., Robin Leach hosts Madonna Exposed, the 2-hour special of never-before-seen video and audio tapes, which will shed new light on the world's most fascinating woman, Madonna, on Fox 25.
For a change, right? So what's new?
The world's most fascinating woman.
According to Robin Leach.
That's what Big Bob says. The rich and the infamous.
And the exposed.
On Fox 25.
Yes.
So the Lakers having their way with the Celtics. Benoit Benjamin has come in at the center spot. AC Green in there, and Alden Campbell, and Gamble has him. Now they double him, but it makes no difference as the Chief got there a little bit late, but no way can Kevin Gamble handle Campbell on the box.
Yeah, Worthy was tough enough, but Campbell has a huge height advantage. Powers just overpowers Benoit.
Well, if Benoit is going to play any place and give you a lot of good basketball, it probably is here with the Lakers. There's Benjamin, and he's got some skills. A hook hard off the glass. Right there is Reggie. Celts trying to run. They do give it to Gamble, and he will get the shot. So the foul by Threet will put Gamble on the line. Watch this.
Campbell just flashes into the post and literally overpowers Gamble. Gamble's not a factor. Robert Parrish comes over to help, but gets it up quickly enough to get his 2. Gamble on the other end misses his
Well, the theory of that, Coos, is that Kevin Gamble is such a good outside shooter. The Celtics have gone to sleep at the foul line too. They're 3 for 9 now. But the theory is that Chris Ford believes in is that if you got a good outside shooting quick forward, and they put a big guy on him, they ought to be calling his number off picks and getting him the ball. And the opposite happens is you put him up the other end on the box against the bigger man and take advantage of the size. As Campbell coming back, and so far the Lakers have made that matchup work in their favor big time.
No, completely. You're still giving up whatever. You're taking an 18, 19, 20-foot shot, maybe longer. Campbell goes for the 3 as opposed to, a 6, 7, 8-foot shot in the paint by a big guy. So the exchange doesn't seem equitable.
Well, this is an unbelievable quintet we have out there now, Cruz. We got 4 zips, and I mean zips, and 1 zap in for the Celtics. Reggie Lewis, I think, is going to be power forward. Steve Brown and Sherm Douglas in the backcourt. A kick to Campbell.
Well, Chris Ford obviously searching for combinations.
Something, right?
Anyone, probably call for volunteers. Hey, does anybody want to go out and play a little D for a few minutes here? I'll put you in the game. Jack, where's Nicholson? He'd probably like to go and take a shot at this. No, he's sitting comfortably in his front row seat there.
He's a daddy, isn't he?
Yes.
Such a great act. I flew back and forth with him a few times on the planes during the series of Lakers and the Celtics years ago, and he's really a great guy. You know why? Came from New Jersey.
I knew.
He's a Jersey guy.
I knew you were leading up to something.
He was a Jersey guy.
Where's Jersey?
Long Branch, New Jersey. Was an accountant out here to start. Celtics now with the
where Toto Palazzi was from?
Not Long Branch, but Jersey. So with 3:54 to go in the third quarter, Chris Ford showing the signs of a real potential big blowout here by the Lakers.
We speculated on top as to whether the Celtics would have an emotional advantage because the Lakers had beaten them in Boston. Unfortunately, this has not occurred, folks. It's just been the opposite. The Lakers have been up considerably higher.
But stranger things have happened as Quick Ford is trying to really quicken his team and turn them into an aggressive unit with the smallest people he can find on the bench. And here's Street. They keep looking for the good matchups on the box. Reggie takes the game away from Campbell, but Benign Ben finds one and jump hooks it in.
2 double zeros out there, both of them 7 feet. Both of them obviously playing center.
D. Brown finds Sherm Douglas. So the 2 point guards connect on the pick and roll play.
Good look by D. Brown. Sherm had found the open area under the hoop. Lakers trapping as much as possible, and that will always create someone eventually free if you're willing to swing the ball and have a little patience, and that time they did.
Celtics now, a little pressure. Eldon Campbell finds Benoit Benjamin, and there over the top as D. Brown had to pick up the power forward. Couldn't get at the pass. Gamble works his way free, goes to the left hand, it finds the bottom of the net. 13 for Kevin.
Kevin really complimenting his outside game much more lately with that penetration, and that's really why he's been so effective the last, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, when he started to really take it into the paint, because he shoots so effectively from outside.
Sherm Douglas can't finish it off, finds it again, and he will be fouled by Benjamin. But the Celtics playing more aggressive defense now with this smaller group in there. They can't convert up the other end. But Sherm Douglas looks like he got hurt on that play. Watch this.
A little backdoor move without the ball catches Brown by surprise, and a nice pass by, was that Eldon Campbell?
Benoit.
Benoit. Well, Benoit's got skills, and obviously that's why he was the #1 draft pick. What, 8 years ago, I guess. Has he been in the league that long?
Well, they thought he was going to be a biggie. Played for
Clippers, and then Willis to Seattle, and Willis Reed at Creighton, right?
So they thought he got the best training of any big man in the draft coming out. But here's some pressure defense by the Celtics. And there are a whole bunch of big people in there for the Lakers. An air ball. Here come the Celtics. A 5-on-2. Gamble with the leaner. It goes. And Randy Funn right now says, I want a timeout, as the quickness of the Celtics are getting them back into this thing. It's a 12-point Laker lead. Come on, Alan, turn around. Your friends in Newton, Mass, where you grew up, want to see you. That's Alan Rakins, and we all know him as Douglas Brackman, L.A. Law. And they may have old Jack as a Laker rooter, but this man roots for the Celtics.
The stars are out.
Uh-oh, we know who's Denzel Washington with a Laker hat. More pressure now by the Celtics, hoping to get this at least down to 10.
Celtics back into it with a quarter left. They're down to 12. Yes. Parrish doing a good job with Eldon Campbell. But again, with the small lineup in there, that leaves the 7-foot Benoit Benjamin free to come in and mop up here as Parrish is able to interrupt the Campbell jam.
Well, the initial part of that coup was Eldon Campbell, 7 feet, posting up D. Brown on the box. And Eldon Campbell pulls off that missed foul shot. And Sedale 3 is going to try and create a mismatch. Here's Worthy being defended by D. Brown. A double team over the top to Campbell.
Well, height seems to be beating speed and quickness at the moment. Thanks to a nice alley-oop over the extended defense by Worthy there, who's played extremely well tonight.
Sherm Douglas with the weak side putback over the top of Benjamin. It's 94-80. We're under a minute. Douglas with 15 points in this game, and he has not been feeling well, and neither has D. Brown. So Chris Ford asking these guys to really do something serious there at the inside game, missing of the Lakers. Douglas trying to run it hard. Gamble with the 3. That does not go. So the Lakers should get the last shot of this quarter. Campbell once again on Campbell. A jump hook. He gets his own miss. And the Lakers do not score to finish off the quarter. But they gain 1 point on their halftime lead. It's 94-80 Lakers.
Fans, it's time for the Miller Lite fourth quarter shootout. Tonight's contestant is Melanie Dean from Charlton City, Mass., and she selected Robert Parrish to score first for the Celtics in the fourth quarter. For being selected, Melanie will receive an athletic bag compliments of Miller Lite. And if Robert Parrish is the first Celtic to score in the fourth quarter, Melanie will also win a grand prize of 2 Boston Celtics tickets. Good luck, Melanie. Now, back to Tommy and Bob.
Well, Coos. Melanie Dean picks Robert Parrish to score first, and he is in the ball game, so you don't have to make that difficult decision.
Sounds good, Melanie. I'm glad you're doing my work for me here. We'll send word down to Robert to have him make the first couple for you.
Chris Ford in his fourth quarter will go with that small group again. And Reggie Lewis is now the power forward, believe it or not. Here you go, Robert Parrish inside. The fall away. Nope, he got the first shot, Melanie. Didn't make it happen, though. And Divac back in along with Doug Christie for the Lakers. Christie was a long-time holdout, wanted to play here with the Lakers. The kickback pass to Worthy, no good. And here comes Robert Parrish. Well, Melanie, you may get another chance at it, as Robert Parrish will go and take 2 foul shots.
The percentage is with you, Melanie. Robert's only shot 2 tonight, and he missed both of them, so the chances are he's going to get you on the board. And bring the C's within 12. Oh, pressure's on, Melanie. Not to worry, Robert will get this one. He's never missed 4 in a row in his career. We just looked that up. There you go.
So congratulations go out to Melanie Dean from Charlestown. Parrish has scored the first points of the first quarter, and Robert will be receiving, or Melanie will be receiving 2 Celtic tickets courtesy of Miller Lite. So thanks for playing the Miller Lite fourth quarter shootout. Back up to a 15-point lead as Campbell knocks it down to 13. Plenty of time as the Celts press now with the smaller ball players starting to wear down a little thin. Here's Anthony Peeler, who just came in. His shot no good. Parrish right there. Celts running. Alley-oop to Dee Brown.
Yes, good job there.
And the Celts have the lead cut to 11. More pressure coming up.
Not many 6'1" people in the league you can go alley-oop to, but Dee Brown's one of them. A nice pass by Douglas to set that up for Dee.
Lakers have precious seconds on the shot clock. I think it's down to 6. Worthy forced to the tough shot and rims it. Christie. It'll be Boston ball as he couldn't hold on to it.
Well, a little life in the C's coming out of that third quarter huddle. Now this gets it down to single digits.
As the quick people of the Celts are starting to make some hay here. And the Lakers mentally may have put this one away too soon, Coos.
Yeah, let's see if Celtics with the momentum can sustain it.
Look at it.
For a few minutes.
Look at this mismatch. Sherm Douglas ends up with Campbell on the box. Peeler with a 3. No good. And guess who pulls out the rebound? Sherm Douglas. Celts running.
Breaks out of the pack, giving it to Lewis.
And it's down to a 7-point lead. The Celts playing tough here. Fighting hard. It's 96-89 with the small people. Dutchboy gives you in the paint, and here are the points in the paint. Both clubs even there, and look at the rebounds. Only a 1 rebound differential. And now, this is points in the paint.
Well, we told you at the outset how close these two teams were statistically. There's a nice interchange by the 2 Celtic guards. Beautiful high lob by Dee Brown, who finishes it off spectacularly.
Lakers led by 20 at the 8-minute mark of the third quarter. Worthy steps away from the double. McDaniel has come in. Robert Parrish stays in. Celts gather up the miss.
No question, the momentum has turned. Remains in the favor of the C's here in this quarter. And if they stay aggressive, They may be able to run it through the next 8 minutes.
96-91, 21 points for Kevin Gamble. And the Celts have whittled this down with aggressive defense. Now it goes to Divac. Parrish cannot cut off the angle totally. Divac, a little bit more mobile, puts it in. They have it back up to 7. D. Brown working on Christie. Kicks to Reggie. Yes, a three-point shot by Reggie Lewis. And that gives him 21.
Down to 4. Celts much more active defensively, attacking the ball, challenging another steal. Yes!
And Rick Fudd is having a nightmare and is wearing green jerseys. It's 98-96. Lakers call time. It's a 20-second timeout.
The green people, other than the ones in the huddle, are ecstatic. There's Reggie Lewis's three.
Watch X on this as D. Brown makes a great play. X just steps to it, Coos.
Takes it into the middle, looks the defense away as if he's going to pass. That gives him a little daylight, enough to knock home that J and get the C's within 2.
Coos, regardless, this has not been a rollover and die affair by the Celtics. Chris Ford, they have come out scrapping with the 8-minute mark, down 20. They're within 2 right now with 7:53 to go in the game. More pressure by the Celtics.
Good search for the combination. He finally hit on one. All the lights are blinking now. Another steal.
As Worthy mishandles it. A.C. Green has come back into the game as well as Sedale Threet. So the iron in there for the Lakers. D. Brown will swing it to X. Yes, and it's tied at 98. Wow, what a comeback by the Celtics.
Great ball movement that time. Lakers now standing around defensively. They're looking confused. I don't think they can believe this is happening to them here at home.
Divac has it roll off. Gamble fights A.C. Green for the miss.
Good job by Kevin Gamble on his box out of the best offensive rebound on the Lakers. Brown. Yes!
Everything's flying through as the Lakers defense getting passive and the Celtics take the lead. Worthy answers with a miss.
Here come the C's, pushing it down quickly.
Parrish foul by A.C. Green as the Celtics running hard right now. And those old 40-year legs, 39-year-old legs of Robert Parrish got him up there ahead of Divac.
Randy Funt, who replaced Mike Dunleavy this year. A little early to celebrate, guys. Stay cool. Kevin and Abdelnaby acting as if this is over. Long way to go, but a great comeback so far by the C's. They were down 20 not too long ago.
Celtics now 8 for 16 from the line. Make it 9 for 17, and it's a 4-point Celtic lead. More pressure. It's been productive.
Oh, yeah. Celtics very active now in their tapping defense. Threet
goes to Worthy. Gamble up tight on him. Worthy with a unbelievable bad shot. Here's Scott. And it's a 24-second violation. He had the shot, turned it down, didn't want to take it.
Nothing working for the Lakers at the moment for a good reason. The Celtics have put their D in a high gear, and it's effective, creating turnovers and easy shots at the basket.
Divac jumps out on Gamble. And there'll be an illegal defense on A.C. Green as he was in the paint and his man, Xavier, was out on the three-point line. Timeout called. A big, big comeback by the Celtics. They were down 20. They're up 4 now.
Celtics on an unbelievable 22-4 run in this quarter. And there is the shooting 9 of 10. And look at the Lakers as they have become muddled and confused by the pressure defense of the Celtics.
Celtics on a 22-4 run here in this quarter, T.
Well, Sherm Douglas is on the bench, and Kevin Gamble has come back in. Here's D. Brown, and he gets fouled as he was airborne and was forced to go to the weak side, but he'll step up and have an opportunity to put the Celtics up by 6.
It is. D. Brown just blowing by 3, takes it to the other side of the basket, gets fouled by A.C. Green, a third team foul on the Lakers. Celtics yet to pick up their first team foul, so they can remain aggressive defensively without concern for sending the Lakers to the line.
D. Brown gets his 9th point, and the Celtics are up 6. 5:47 to go. More pressure.
The Lakers looking tentative against this play.
Oh, they sure are.
They're really not asserting themselves.
Randy Funn hoping that will break the Celtics' momentum. 17 points for 3.
Important to work for a good one here. Keep the offensive momentum going.
Parrish backs into the box. Divac up.
Oh, yes.
Goes for the McDaniel up fake, and it's 106 to 100.
15 for McDaniel, and another big hoop there. Brown going for the steal, but he can afford to gamble, as we said. He's not in foul difficulty. That's only his 3rd and the first team. Good pump fake by McDaniel. Gets the bigger, slower Divac up in the air, and he just leans in under him.
They go to Worthy, tries to find Divac, and he does. That is the 4th basket by the Lakers in this quarter. It's a 4-point Boston lead. 4:42 to go in the ball game. Parrish single coverage. Divac knocks it away. Here comes X. 7 on the shot clock. McDaniel with a stunning left-hand drive.
Is he taking charge once again?
3 right back. It's a 2.
Don't start matching. Got to find those guys early. That's what got you back in there, and what could very well get you a great, great win here.
McDaniel again as they beat the pressure. Nobody went out to meet X.
10 here in a quarter now for McDaniel. 19 for the game.
3 trying to work against D. Brown, and D. Brown incredulous at that one. Never went for the steal, was moving his feet. That's the 4th foul on D, and the 2nd team foul on the Celtics.
Yeah, it looked like he really had good position there. Quick whistle by Tom Washington. There's the X move, recognizing the mismatch. Brings it in strong against Divac.
Worthy has it. Roll in.
Worthy's first hoop in the second half after a great first half with 16.
3:36 to go. The Celtics up 4. They were down 20. Gamble. Yes! Kevin Gamble! What a game this has been. 23 points for Kevin Gamble. 6-point Celtic lead. Worthy. It rolls off.
Yes. Parrish now starting to assert himself on that defensive ball.
X looks to Gamble. They go inside of Parrish. Yes, by Parrish! This has been an unbelievable explosion of enthusiasm by the Celtics. Look at that bench. Celtics up 8.
A good position this time in the paint. Divac giving it up. Chief taking advantage of it.
Back live, they go to Divac. Outside shot, no good. Rebound, Reggie, as he took it away from two of the Lakers.
The green shirts are swarming that defensive board.
Here's X. He's been hot. The Celtics have made 14 of 15 and 14 straight field goals in this quarter. The foul on Divac as he took the flop. That'll be the third team foul on the Lakers, a fourth on Divac.
There it is, Divac with a little acting job. Jack Nicholson's impressed, but the official is not. Celtics spreading the floor.
They go to X, and he gets bagged hard by Divac. And that'll be 5 on Divac, and X will get 2 foul shots and a chance to put the Celtics up by 10.
Lakers over the limit. Divac now showing his frustration. Just throws his forearm into X's chest. What a job this guy has done the last 2 games in the fourth quarter. Incredible. Yes!
And they were jumping for joy in the huddle, but not this man. Randy Fontes, the wheels came off his wagon, and they were really mentally cruising through this game, and the Celtics with the quick people just took the momentum away.
Well, the strategy worked. Bore them to death for 3 quarters and then attack them in the last. That's what the Celtics have done with the help of that small lineup.
The foul on Robert Parrish. That is the third team foul on the Celtics, the second on the Chief.
This Ford experimented and searched and did everything possible to find a lineup that would provide the defense he was looking for. Finally went small, and it worked.
You said it too, Coos. There wasn't much more he could have done except throw in Wayne LeBeau.
Wayne was ready too.
He certainly came up with a new look that the Lakers were not expecting. And Sherm Douglas and D. Brown in the backcourt. Reggie Lewis playing power forward. The Lakers make 2. Here's the press.
Attack the basket. That's the way.
Pass by Brown to the Chief. Gets it back up to 10. We're approaching 2 minutes to go in the game.
Nothing left in the Laker legs, Tommy, so if they're going to extend and try to pressure, the C's have got to take it to the basket as they did that time.
Divac with the little hook. More pressure now by the Lakers.
Don't get
Brown
That's
right through it.
Take it strong.
Lay down pass doesn't end up in the Chiefs' hands. Here come the Lakers. They get it back to 3. Worthy will take a 3. That's no good. A.C. Green has it batted away. Chief got a piece of that one by Divac.
Chief hanging tough. 2-on-1. Spread out the floor. Make them work. Minute 28.
And as the foul, that'll be put D. Brown on the line for 2 as the Lakers are over the limit.
What a win this is. We talked to Chris Ford on top and somewhat facetiously said, Coach, it'd be nice to get 4 in a row on this Western trip. Something that hasn't been done in I don't know how many years. There's the slam dunk by Parrish.
39-year-old legs on the wing out of a fast break. Watch Parrish takes that one away.
Yes, Chief gets right back into it, blocks one, interrupts the next, and then gathers the rebound in.
So D. Brown will take 2. And there is joy in the Celtic huddle, which is only about 1.5 inches away from Jack Nicholson.
Jack's hanging in there, huh? Kevin's going in over there to give him a few words of wisdom.
What do you think of that, Jack? Well, now.
Your witch's brew didn't work tonight, Big Jack. Still smiling, however. Good for him.
Great guy.
Good sport.
So the Celtics came up with some kind of amazing ball game here as it appeared that they were running out of gas. Weren't sure if Sherm Douglas had gas in his tank. D. Brown not 100%. Kevin McHale not available because of a sprained ankle. And the chemistry of the quick people like Chris Ford, the last option perhaps in his mind, produced just an explosion of enthusiasm in the Boston Celtics to power them now to a 9-point lead.
So difficult to regain the momentum in this league once you let it slip away, even at home. Although the crowd, it obviously took the crowd out of it. The fans are as stunned as the Lakers, really. It was so obvious, it seemed to everyone, that the Lakers had complete control of the game. 20 points well into the second half, when everything turned around very dramatically and quickly with the team.
Well, Chris Ford really had a commitment to quickness in this game from the very beginning on the Gamble-worthy matchup. And as we look at that matchup right now, Kevin Gamble has 23 points. James Worthy has 18. So it wasn't going Gamble's way until his last quarter. And it really has turned out that he will be the most productive, most likely, in this encounter. But the quickness of the Celts with the smallest people on the court really produced dramatic results. And this man played 2 good games in a row, back-to-back. Robert Parrish. Celts are 15 for 16 in this quarter.
3-point shooters. Keeler is 1. He's got to watch.
Pressure coming up by the Lakers. Goes to Reggie, and Reggie's fouled in the backcourt by Byron Scott. So Reggie, one of the better Celtic foul shooters, will get 2. Look at the three-pointer.
Peeler's a three-pointer. He's got this kind of range. Beautiful stroke. Worthy is a fairly good three-point shooter. 28%.
Reggie knocks down the first.
Sedell Treat also can launch him up there.
Reggie hits 2.
Celts are not going to be denied now. They worked too hard to get to this point.
Divac with the 3. Knocked out. It'll be Boston ball as Peeler hit the time clock with it, and the Celts will take it on the side.
And that should do it, folks. An extraordinary win for the Celts. As we said on top, this Laker team was not Denver. They got a little lucky in Denver last night with less than a complete effort and won, but tonight, Lakers much stronger team and a much better win.
The Celts continue the road trip into the Great Northwest this weekend as the Celts travel into Portland. So, hey, this has been great action on this trip, and that action begins Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Celtics Trailblazers right here over most of our Fox 25 Sports Network. Well, Kuz,
got to be very satisfying for Chris Ford after pushing all the buttons and finally finding the right one. Look at that shooting percentage here in the fourth quarter. The defense reflecting the 38% shooting by the Lakers, and obviously the explosion in the up-tempo and the outside shooting by the C's.
Goes to Gamble, back to Xavier McDaniel, and the Celts will certainly try and work the clock down as far as they can without getting the foul. And there it is by Divac, and that should put him out of the ball game as he picks up his 6th.
Milk the clock, space your people properly, keep the ball in the air, try to keep the ball, if possible, in the hands of your better free throw shooters. That's the strategy. Disconsolate.
You got it.
Is that what I said?
You said it.
Disconsolate. Divac fouls out.
Gamble misses the first. 1 minute to go exactly in this game. Nine-point Celtic lead. Here comes Threet. He was huge in the first quarter. They kick out. And AC Green's shot is good.
Well, we hadn't thought about AC as a three-point shooter, but
And they put the muscle on Xavier McDaniel, so he will get 2 opportunities.
Yeah, AC hasn't taken many, only 28 for the year, but he's hit 9 of them, so he's a threat as well.
Well, the Lakers will be going for the threes, no question about it. But the Celtics sort of try and get them to take a little time off the clock with their offense. If they want 2, give them 2. They'll make them work for the threes.
Well, they're not wasting time going for the steal, Nancy. You know, they're just fouling the first guy they get to with the ball.
So X misses the first.
I'll tell you, that's the only thing he's missed this quarter.
Gets the second. 7-point Boston lead. Here's Threet. They go to Worthy. Kick out to Green again. He hits another 3.
Celtics are collapsing with the penetrator. Think he's going to take the layup, but they're not doing that. They're flipping it out into the corners.
Well, it's 40.7 on the game clock. 4-point Boston lead, so D. Brown will need to make his free throws. Here's Worthy.
So here's the penetration. That collapses the green shirts into the paint, expecting the layup. They're flipping it back, and they've hit 2 in a row.
Deep breath and all. Puts in that shot, and it's strategic move here for defensive purposes, believe it or not, as Abdelnaby comes in for Robert Parrish to stay with the 3-point shooter on the perimeter.
2 big free throws for D. Brown.
And AC Green tosses it out of bounds. And they quickly foul Allah. And Allah came in Denver, made 2 clutch foul shots to ice the win. And he'll have to do it again. And there's the Chief, who anchored that rodent type of defense. I mean, those were scurrying rats out there.
Give us a smile, Chief. God bless it. Come on. Plenty to cheer about tonight and feel good about yourself.
Xavier McDaniel is a horse. In any language, man, a winner, a competitor, and one tough dude.
Yes,
and
sir.
Allah Abdelnaby knocks 2 down. Celtics up by 8. Threet hits the 3, takes the 3 to kick it out to Worthy. He launches that short, and Gamble right there. Tips to himself. They go to D. Brown. And they yank him with 18 and a point of a second. He'll get 2 free throws. And this, Kuz, has been one of the stunning comebacks that the Celtics have had in any era.
Yeah, absolutely. An exceptional win. And an exceptional quarter of basketball.
At one point, 15 for 16 in the quarter. There was 14 in a row.
I'll tell you,
must have been 15 in a row, too.
When it turned quickly. And every phase of the game, defensively, rebounding, up-tempo.
And when you talk about Chris Ford as a coach, what does he know about coaching? Let me tell you, that was a gutsy move to put those 4 smaller players in there. As the Boston Celtic fans at the Great Western Forum are up and cheering, as this has been a monumental comeback of any Celtic team against the Lakers in their own home court, as Chris Ford now is brought the Celtics to 3-0 on this West Coast trip. Just unbelievable emotion by the Celtic Ball Club in that 4th quarter. So the final score from the Great Western Forum, the Celts win it by 10, 129 to 119. We'll be back with more, but first this. Tommy Heinz and Bob Cousy back here at the Great Western Forum, and Celtics came up with the second all-time record for a quarter of 49 points. The record for a quarter for the league is 50, Coos. And rhapsodize, Coos. Come on, rhapsodize.
Well, if you're a Celtic fan, I'll tell you, you got to be in hog heaven, as they say. That was an extraordinary comeback. A lot of people, starting with the coach, had something to do with it. The Celtics, after kind of sleepwalking for 2.5, almost 3 quarters, Sherm Douglas kept it alive for them in the third quarter, I thought. He had about 13 points in that quarter, the only one that was productive offensively. But then in the last quarter, boy, half a dozen guys had a hand in it. Just left the Lakers stunned. You know, I don't know whether they simply bored them to death and they really thought they had it in their pocket. This will happen at home occasionally. You're a little more secure, and you're not as prepared to deal with the kind of explosion that the Celtics threw at them in the last quarter. They say an extraordinary win.
They sure turned tentative when the Celtics started really getting aggressive with their pressure defense. Great strategic move by Chris Ford that paid off in super enthusiasm to really come up with this win. And here are your Mass State lottery instant stats as the Lakers take more shots. Celtics eventually shoot a better percentage, 59 for the game, end up with more free throws, but the Lakers were fouling on purpose. The Celtics were 18 for 22 in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics out-rebound the Lakers. Look at the turnovers, and the fourth quarter shooting percentage just unbelievable, 94%. Here are against 38%, as Kevin Gamble, look at those numbers there. Everybody had a hand in this. Kevin Gamble 24, Reggie 23, McDaniel 22, and he came in at a crucial time to get those 22. Robert Parrish played some serious minutes with Kevin McHale not being available tonight. Douglas had 15, and there was enough gas in his tank. D. Brown came up with some big plays with 14. Byron Scott 20, Threet 19, Worthy 18, Divac 17, Green 16, and Campbell 12. So the Gamble-Worthy matchup, the quickness paid off. Here's the X. Big hoop by Xavier McDaniel. And watch Robert Parrish on this one. The old legs on the wing in the fourth quarter, powering it through. That is Robert Parrish in action. Big win here at the Great Western Forum for the Boston Celtics, coming from 20 down with 8 minutes gone in the third quarter. End up beating the Los Angeles Lakers 129 to 119. And now, back to Jimmy.
Thank you, gentlemen. And this ball game is now in the annals of history in one of the finest, most quality performances you will see a Boston Celtic team play. They win it 129 to 119 over the Lakers. What a ball game. If you just tuned in, sorry, babe. You missed the great one. The AT&T long-distance shot in this one by the X-Man coming down the stretch. He couldn't miss. The Celtics couldn't miss. D kicks it to him. Takes a deep jumper to put the Celtics up by 1. They would not trail from this juncture as X comes up big for the second night in a row. Excellent, Mr. McDaniel. What can you say?